Hello, hello. I was really wanting to do this the other way around, but I have to do it this way by the looks of things. Hello, friends. Hello, hello. Thanks for jumping on. I'll just let a few more people jump on. Just turned 8 o'clock. Thank you so much. Those of you who are jumping on to spend the next maybe 30 to 40 minutes with me. I'll try and keep to time. I've been really bad at doing that in the last ones. I always just keep talking and talking because I just get so excited and could just talk forever. So I will get going. Okay, so thank you, angels, for those of you who have jumped on to spend some time with me tonight and to hear about how we can get in touch with our personal power. So my name's Alicia Dumais-Temmerman. I'm the founder of the Global Soul Centre, and I'm really excited to talk to you tonight about this topic. It's something that I'm really passionate about. Many of you know my story, but some of you may be jumping on for the first time and you may be hearing from me for the first time. So I'll try and give you like a super short version. So essentially my background was very straighty 180, conservative, kind of responsible, doing the things in life that I thought I should do. You know, when you've got to kind of try and get the best degree and get the best job you can and kind of get the mortgage and the house and all of that stuff. Does that resonate with people where we're kind of on this path of the way that we think we need to be in this human world? And I was like playing that game. I was playing it really well and I was just doing all the things that I thought I had to do. So I kind of found myself working for around 10 years in one of the top tier law firms, and I worked my butt off. Like I loved the job in there, and I kind of lost really a decade of my life in a lot of ways, even though I learned amazing things and worked with amazing people and I really enjoyed it. I missed out on a lot of fun that a lot of my friends were having kind of out and about in the world and not spending like 12, 14 hours a day locked in the Rialto Towers. I don't know if people can relate to that, where they've been in that workaholic mindset. That was definitely me. And once I had kids, it started to become increasingly difficult to try and manage the different parts of me. And I just found myself getting sick often, getting sore throats, on this kind of cycle of, okay, I'd get a bit more energy, and then I'd be like, okay, I'll take on more, and then it's like I'd crash and I'd get sick, and then I'd be like, okay, I need to rest a bit now, and then I'd go, oh, I'm feeling better now, I'll take more on, and I'd crash, and I just went on this cycle of just having energy and then not having energy, and having energy and not having energy, and it got to the point that I just had to really stop and start to go inwards and start that journey of connecting back with my inner self. And it was really from depletion and exhaustion that it really pushed me to the point and to that brink, which is often what happens. You know, we get pushed to the brink, we get the wake up call, and I wish we would kind of act earlier, but often sometimes as humans we think we are invincible on this planet and we forget that our body is not. And so I started connecting back with myself, I started journaling, I started meditating. I'd always been interested in things of spiritual nature since kind of my teenage years, studied lots of different bits and bats, but I really started to make myself much more of a priority. Having said that, and I look back, I was not doing an amazing job at it compared to now what I want to teach you what I can in this time around how important it is to really to make sure we are honoring ourselves on this journey that we are on the planet. So anyway, fast forward, it took me to an incredible experience where in March 2012, I was hanging out the washing, just hanging out the laundry, and I had this crazy, incredible experience where I had a voice start to talk to me, but using my own voice. So like in the movie Ghost, it's the only thing I'd seen anything like it, where Oda Mae Brown starts to channel. I didn't even know the language back then of what it was. So anyway, I'm a channeler. I channel spirit guides, ascended masters, angels, archangels. It's taken me, it took me 6 years to even say that to people. And I feel like, you know, in Pretty Woman, you know, when Richard Gere is in the bathtub with Julia Roberts and he's saying like, I don't know why I'm saying this, but I'm angry with my father. It's like, it took him like so many years to be able to just say that. That's how I feel. It's like it took me so many years to say I'm a channeler and to come out of the spiritual closet. I was petrified. I was terrified of what people would think of me, and that I had kind of this credible, reliable kind of facade and mask around me, that, you know, I had the job as the lawyer and the mum with the kids and the sensible job and all of that kind of stuff. Whereas this was just completely in another land. And over the centuries, people who've come out in this way as channelers, energy healers, which I channel to be able to do that work. And we've not treated those kind of people well throughout humanity. There's been a lot of people burned and all sorts of stuff. So, you know, there was a lot of fear around that. Having said that, now that I've come out and I've stepped onto this path, my personal power is stronger than it has ever been, because, not surprisingly, once we actually start to live our truth, once we actually start to do what we're supposed to do on this planet, then the universe like just pounds you with energy, because you're able to really flow and surrender through the tapestry of universal energy that is available to us at all times. And I'll try not to go too much into energy, because that is my main game and I will want to talk to you about energy forever. There are other talks of mine that you can access about that. I really want to try and talk more tonight about personal power and what it is, why you want to access your personal power, and how you access your personal power. So, what is our personal power? So my understanding of us as humans comes and is very much informed from the information that's been given to me from ascended masters, energies that are no longer in human form, many of whom have lived on Earth, they understand our planet, but they've gone through all their lessons and evolved to the point that they don't need to come back. So we've got the benefit of being able to access information from them directly. So your personal power, that is your divinity, your intuition, your true self, your inner calm, your inner wisdom, your flow when you're in the zone, your inner compass, your uniqueness, your unique divine spark. And every single one of us is just as important as every single other person on this planet and beyond this planet. No one is more important than anyone else. We all come from this divine mind, and we are a piece of that, a part of that. Like drops in the ocean makes up the whole ocean, and we are a drop in the ocean. Grains of sand make up the beach. Each of us is this grain of sand, and just as important as the other. When we start to deeply anchor and connect with our personal power, then so much of the stuff and the stress of this planet falls away. It just disappears, it drops away, because we start to realize the truth, and we start to realize our true magnificence, our value, our worth, that we matter. Every single one of us matters. And so no longer are we so concerned about needing other people to fill us up, the recognition, needing approval. And I get that. I am on a journey of that, of being that people pleaser and wanting everyone to like me and all of that kind of stuff. And as we go down this path of really connecting with ourselves and starting to deeply, deeply love and honor and cherish ourselves, then the need for that stuff disappears. Not entirely, it's still like this human struggle for sure, but whether or not people like me is really no longer of a consequence for me as it was in the past. And would that be a relief for you if you could just not care anymore? Because that is what gives us the personal freedom. Why do we want to connect with our personal power? Because that gives us personal freedom to be able to make decisions for ourselves that are true and right and aligned with what feels good and feels right with us, rather than making decisions from our human ego, from fear, from worrying about everyone else and what everyone else thinks and all of that stuff. Personal freedom means we acknowledge and realize our sovereignty as human beings, as energetic beings, spiritual beings. We are the captain of our own life, of our energy field, of our power, our emotions, our energy. And when we find that internal peace, no matter what life brings, because on this planet, I will assure you it is going to bring ups and downs and ins and outs, because this school of its nature involves, unfortunately, a lot of suffering. And we see that everywhere on this planet, because our nature is that we are in these human bodies that are fallible. They are not permanent. And there's a reason for that. And we have the contrast. We have the light and the day and the dark and the light, and we have the sickness and the health and all of the things that we get to learn through being in the human body. But none of us is immune from that. And we all ultimately will leave our body at some point. It's not just this ongoing thing on this particular planet. So, being in our personal power, giving us personal freedom, means that we can be more vulnerable, because we're not as concerned about what other people think of us. We are able to take that mask off, although in Victoria and plenty of other places we have to wear masks at the moment, but we have to, we can take the mask off and just be real, and not being constantly concerned about having to say the right thing, do the right thing. Or me, when I was working in the law firm, I had this imposter syndrome and was constantly worried that people were going to find out that I wasn't really that smart, that they accidentally gave me the job in one of these big firms, but really I didn't deserve to be there. I didn't know what I was doing. And I was always kind of in fear that people would find this out. And so what that led to for me was overworking, overfunctioning, and working around the clock and always trying to be a step ahead so that people didn't really catch me out. And once we tap into our personal power, we are able to back ourselves more and be totally fine if we don't know something, or if we say the wrong thing, or all of that stuff just disappears and life just becomes a whole lot easier. When we're in touch with our personal power, we're able to be more fully present with others in conversations, because we're not so much wanting to fill gaps with conversation, or one up, or say this and this and this about me and me and me. And this is an ongoing journey. Like, as I speak this stuff, I'm not saying I am totally amazing at this and I've mastered this whole, I have not. I am totally a student, working every day to discipline my mind as best as I can, to purify my mind as best as I can. But when we don't have that neediness or seeking the approval, we've got that really self-assuredness where we can go out in the world without being bumped about all over the shop by all of the external stuff. Just having that sense of self, being able to really receive and to give. Particularly women, we can be really good at giving. We want to give. We say, who loves giving? Who loves helping others? And everyone's like raising their hands. Who's comfortable receiving? Who's comfortable receiving and allowing things to come into their life? That's a little bit trickier. But when we really are anchored into our personal power, then it's easier to just allow things to flow in and allow things to flow out. So when we're living from our personal power, we're living from the divinity outwards, from our spirit outwards, from our true self outwards, rather than the external determining how we conduct ourselves. And we're then more easily able to tap into our intuition, which flows into making better decisions, making choices that are more aligned, feeling good in your body, feeling like you belong in your body, and that you are worthy and that you matter. So that's why we want to connect with our personal power, because it is a much more grounded, calming, a much funner way to be in the world, to really be able to allow the worries to drop off much easier, certainly than they did for me in the past. So how do we do it? So I've only got a short amount of time, so I can't do everything. I could kind of spend a day on every section here, but I'll take you through kind of 7 key ways, and there are more, way more, but 7 key ways just to help you to connect back with your personal power, to remember that magnificence that is absolutely within you. Hands down, no doubt, you are at your core a magnificent, energetic, spiritual being. We just look like we're in this human body right now, but in reality, we're not. It just looks like it, but we are pure energy vibrating. So, number 1 is to reconnect with your divinity. So, in this fast-paced world, depression, anxiety, suicide rates, disconnection is greater really than it's ever been, despite the fact that supposedly we have got all of the modern technologies and all of the things to be living a cruisier life. But yet, as humans, people are feeling more disconnected, without meaning in their life. And this is one thing that I'm truly, truly passionate about, is helping people to really find that meaning in their day, in their moments, throughout their day. So many people are just going through the motions of life on that rat wheel. And I know I was that. I was kind of on automatic pilot. I know that person. I've been that person. And I understand how difficult it can be at times when we're in that frequency of energy. And I know I'm not going to talk too much about energy, but everything is frequencies. And when we're tapping into our personal power, we are tapping into a high vibration frequency. Whereas when we're in the depression and the anxiety and the worry, we're going down into a denser energy. So the first simplest way to connect with your divinity is through the gift we have been given, which is our breath. And so many humans have forgotten and just take for granted the breath. It is the gateway to our soul. It is the gateway to us accessing our truth and the rhythm of our natural state of being. So just now, even just with me, I invite you just for a moment, just close your eyes and just take a minute to just reconnect with yourself through your breath. To reconnect with your divinity, with your truth, with your magnificence, remembering that at your core you are pure love. Just breathing in deeply and gently, placing your hand on your heart. So much gratitude for this beautiful heart that beats for you every day, beats, giving you life. So much gratitude for this amazing organ that is beating in your chest. And as you breathe, just imagine divine white light pouring into your body and connecting with your soul. I'll bring you back now. I mean, that is just like a minute exercise, just a minute where you can start to get these glimmers, or you might have gone right in there to be able to connect with that true blissful part of yourself that inner calm that is there, that rudder that is there at any moment for you to be able to access, no matter what's going on in life. So that's the first thing, is just connecting back with your divinity through your breath. Simple. And I'll put a link, those of you watching the Facebook Live, to my breathing exercises that I do every single day and have done since I came out of the closet, and my energy levels have skyrocketed. They have been gifted to me from one of my ascended masters called Arumba, a warrior energy, who gives these breathing exercises to us to boost, nourish, protect, clear our energy. So I'll put the link there. So number two to access your personal power is to do daily soul energy rituals. You will know better than anyone else what are the things that feed your soul. What are the things that make you feel in the zone? What are the things that nourish you? What are the things that boost your energy, that get you into flow? And in this modern world, so many distractions, so much work to do, so many kids to feed, if you've got kids, dogs to feed, people to look after, all that stuff. The priority of ourselves and honoring our souls can often go down to the bottom. And I want you to bring that up. So when we don't listen to those whispers of the soul, the universe will kind of give us a tap, and then it'll give us a whack, and then it'll really give us a big whack. So rather than waiting for that, just start to front load and have these habits every day to connect you back to your soul. Can be little things like committing to a ritual of watching the sunrise, the most magnificent, beautiful thing that touches our soul immediately, the sunset, listening to your favorite music, going for a walk, being in nature. Nature is incredible. It connects us to the rhythm of our soul. Looking at the sky, looking at the moon, putting your feet in the dirt, reading a book, reading poetry, cooking, dancing, whatever it is that for you honors your soul. Diarize it and put it in your calendar to make sure that you prioritize your soul and connecting back with your soul. Because whenever you are in the present moment, in these activities, in these rituals, we just are tapping ourselves back energetically to source energy, which reminds us of our personal power, that frequency of energy. That's what we're wanting to access. Because when you've got that high frequency of energy, then opportunities arise, things come more easily, and the world looks like an easier place to be in. But when we're in that dense place where we're worrying, anger, humiliation, resentment, all that kind of stuff regularly, then life gets really tough and everything looks terrible at times. So with these rituals, I do exercises which I've shared with you, which I will share the link. I do just little things that you integrate into your daily life, that you put on the back of things you're doing anyway. Every time you have a cup of tea, smile, take a breath, jump out of bed, greet the day, thank you, thank you. Plenty of people won't make it through the day. Give thanks for the day. When you're eating, give thanks for the food you're eating. Try, if you can, to really be doing tasks, just focusing on that task. Making the porridge, just making the porridge. Eating, just eating. It's hard. I know we like to multitask and all that jazz. But when you can, just carving out those times for yourself, having a little cup of tea, when you're having a shower, imagining all the energy you no longer need, no longer serving me, no longer required, just washing off you, washing your face for an evening, brushing your teeth, I've got your back, I love you, connecting through your eyes, look at yourself, talk to yourself in the mirror. When we engage in these acts of connecting back with our soul, no matter how big or how small, we're bringing that intention to that act. We're bringing that intention which connects us into that frequency of energy, that source energy that I spoke of. So that's number 2, connecting to your soul and doing things, taking daily actions to really honor yourself. Number 3, Stop giving your power away. I could talk for like a whole day or more on this, so I'm going to try and just give you the key things. So we are the commanders of our power, of our own energy, and these are our most valuable commodities. Yet so many people are giving their power away consciously and unconsciously usually, and we actually have power over whether or not we accept energy to be released from us when we start to understand how to work with the laws of energy and to be commanders of our energetic system. So, for example, you might have an interaction with someone and you feel really depleted after that conversation, and you just kind of walk away like washed out. Bringing that awareness to that moment and actually communicating to yourself, okay, I've just had a conversation. I'm talking to myself a lot consciously, because if we're not consciously talking to ourselves, then all of the other mumbo jumbo will take hold of our thoughts, and our thoughts matter, and the frequency of our thoughts matter. There are no idle thoughts. Things are noticed and observed on an energetic level in the universe. So you've just had an interaction with someone that hasn't gone well. So then I'll say, I've just had an interaction with X, whoever it is, and I acknowledge that I'm feeling whatever it is, and I might be feeling, I'm feeling embarrassed because I said such and such, or I'm feeling this, or I'm feeling that. And so acknowledge, don't suppress those emotions, how we are feeling. It's really important to be able to work those emotions and allow them to go through our system and process, just like we process food, we process emotions. But when we don't process them and we push them down and we deny them, then they can get stuck energetically in the body. And it is amazing doing the energy work that I'm doing individually and seeing what's coming up in densities of energies in different chakras created from different experiences. It's mind-blowing what we hold on to in our energetic system. So the more conscious we are of that, the more aware we are of that, we can deal with it and address it at the time, so we're processing it properly. So you're acknowledging such and such as the emotion that you might be feeling, and really feel it, and just even 5 seconds makes an amazing difference to allow you to feel it, acknowledge it, love it, let it work through, so that you're not holding on to that. But also, you are not going to take on anything from the other person. I've just had an interaction with blah, blah. I refuse to take on any energy associated with that interaction for me and not serving me. I protect my energy, only taking on energy that is helpful for me. So just commanding your system, and we've got an energy, again, I'm not going too much into the energy stuff, but we've got an amazing energy field around us that is incredibly sophisticated, this web of energy, and we start to command it rather than just allowing it to willy-nilly just be all over the place, people sucking out of our own energy field. It's really, really, really critical not to allow people to take your power, because no one can have power over you unless you choose and allow, or don't consciously disallow them to take that energy from you. So be really conscious of ways that you can release energy that is not helpful for you. So when we go into judgment, when we go into blame, when we go into these frequencies of energy, we are depleting our energy. We are giving energy away, and we're transmuting it into a lower frequency and just pumping it out into the world. And if we could see what that looks like, so if we could see the color and the density of that energy as we are throwing it out onto someone, we'd be much more conscious of the thoughts that we have and how we treat other people. Because we can't see it as humans, we think maybe it doesn't matter. We think that, if we have a negative thought about someone, that doesn't have an impact because we haven't expressed that out into the world. Energetically, it's not the case. That's not how it works energetically. Everything matters, and I don't want to freak you out because I know it can be a little bit overwhelming, but it's better to understand these things so that you can start to really take charge and get into the driver's seat of managing and mastering your energy, so that you can be pumping and oozing energy to really be able to get on purpose and do what you're supposed to do in this world and overflow with energy. Okay, so number 4 is own your life. Own your life. This is your life. It is not by accident. It is divinely intended that you will be in this particular body at this particular time in terms of the linear time of humanity. And you matter. What you say matters. You deserve and are allowed to be on this planet and mean just as much as every other human that is walking around. It's just that we're all in different bodies and different socioeconomic and different races and different religions and all of this jazz. We're all dressed up in different bodysuits to allow us to have a greater learning experience. Because if we all just look the same and we were already our inner perfection, which is at our core, then there would be no learning. But the learning is amazing and incredible and intricate on our planet. And most people would agree that when does the learning really, really kick? When do we experience the greatest awareness, the greatest realizations, the greatest growth? It is when we are often down in the trenches. That is when we are really we're really learning. So own your life. Rather than what you should be doing, playing the good little girl role, what people expect. I could talk forever about expectations. Really starting to own your life and make decisions for you, being connected and conscious of what your needs are in a situation. And I really speak from my own personal experience on this, because for a long time I wasn't even able to identify my own needs. I knew how to please others. I had learned that game. I had watched, I had studied people, not consciously, but I had gone around different jobs, different friendships, different being in my family unit, all that stuff. And I had watched how people interacted and had picked up on things, not consciously, and I knew how to kind of play that role, how to play that good little girl role. And once we start to bust out of that, it can be difficult. It can come with some complexities, because we start to be something else that people don't expect of us, and some people don't like it. But the feeling you will have in your own being, your own sovereignty, is incredible. And it's, as long as we are still living by our human principles of not doing harm by others, still being respectful and loving to others, but also bringing that back to ourselves and owning our life and making choices for you on the daily basis that lets you know and the universe know that you are important and that you matter. And you know, we've had this script that this can be a selfish thing, and I have had to grapple with this whole thing. But what I've learned through the experience of starting to live this way is that I'm able to have much more overflow for people than I did before, because before I was just so depleted in survival mode. But maybe it looked selfless and I didn't look selfish or whatever to other people, but I was able to give significantly less in my relationships, in work, in all aspects of my life. So ultimately it is for the benefit of humanity if everyone just starts to really fill their cup first and look after themselves first. Your life was gifted to you to live, not for others to dictate to you how you should be living your life. What choices would you make if you could choose to live your life how you wanted to live your life? If you were no longer in fear of, if you make this decision, of the impact on others and all of this stuff. And look, there's caveats on that, right? Of course, you know, if you're a mum and you've got kids, you know, I've got 4 of them running around in there, and be amazed if I get it through this whole talk without someone coming in or some raised voices or whatever at this time of night. Right, we've got to temper it, I get that. But just to push it a little bit more in your favor, to fill your cup, to honor yourself on the daily, then your frustration won't be as high, your resentment won't be as high. Doesn't mean it disappears. We still have all that. We've still got to work through all of that. But really starting to write the script of your life. And if you don't like your current life, then it is for you to change it, for you to make decisions. Take that pen and start to make decisions. For me, it was littlest things. It's just a little thing where I'd just make a decision to say, well, actually, I think that's another one, actually. I think I've got another one here that says something like saying no. Yeah, I'll talk about that later. So just being really conscious of your thoughts as well, and feeling the difference when you're making choices, say when we're doing things out of obligation, and that's got a very different energy to it. Whereas if we're actually saying, you know, actually I want to go to that, or I want to do that, or I want to contribute to that, then energetically you are boosting yourself. So even though it's going to expend your time in some ways, or you think it might expend your energy in some ways to go and do such and such, if you're doing it from the intention of that you want to do that, you're excited to do that, it will not deplete you, it will energize you. When you're working in an area that is for you something you want to do, you absolutely love it, it is energizing. This is why people say it doesn't feel like work, because you are in the zone and in flow. So own your life, and the universe will pay you for it. The universe will unleash abundance at you when you start to take these steps back and course correct onto decisions that are aligned with you. The universe will say, oh, okay, wow, this is great. She is taking these decisions, and we'll give another opportunity, and you can start to flow more with intuition. Okay, so number 5, conscious of time, always going over. I set this group up myself and I keep not sticking to time. Okay, number 5, stop seeking power externally. Finding personal power is an inside job. It is not to be found externally. Nowhere. There is nothing on this planet externally that will actually bring you a sense of inner peace that is sustainable, that is long-term, that is permanent. Yes, you'll have fleeting moments on this planet where you think, oh wow, I've just got that job, or I've just got that pay rise, or I've just got this thing, or I've had my baby, or I've got married, or blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's temporary, it's fleeting, and you're just waiting for the next thing to go like this, right? This human journey. So it's not found once you conquer something or pass through something and reach the other side. So often we can be chasing it, like once I get that MBA, or once I get that thing, or once I get that job, or once, as I said, getting married, once I run the marathon, then it's the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, the chasing, the doing, the achieving. Our inner power, our personal power, is not interested in that stuff. Nothing external will come close to the inner peace that you will be able to access, and hopefully you already access on a daily basis. That is this anchor that you can always rely upon, no matter what you're going through, no matter how hard it feels on any given day on your human journey. That's available to you to anchor back to that energy. When we do remember that personal power, when we're not seeking things externally, what does tend to happen though is the external things can come more easily to you. As I said, the opportunities come. You're listening to your intuition, so you know maybe when to make the call, to send the email, to do this, to do that. Someone pops into your head and you listen and you go, actually, I'm going to I'm going to do that. So even though you're not chasing that stuff, that can come as a byproduct. Choose to remember your personal power now and stop waiting for those external things to fill you up. Because if we're delaying our joy, we're delaying finding meaning every day on this planet, and we're waiting for this and waiting for the house renovation to be finished and waiting for this and waiting for that, that is unsatisfying. Just decide today to start seeking this joy within you, to connect with your truth, with how amazing you are, and you start to notice the magic that exists everywhere. Okay, number 6, say no more often. Are you someone who finds it hard to say no? Oh my gosh, like seriously, I have so struggled with this. I still struggle with this, and it's not easy, but it's like anything I'm discovering. It's like if you want to become good at tennis, you just play more. You want to become a good piano player, you play more. You want to become good at saying no, you do it more. And the first time it is like, oh my God, it's so scary to feel like you're going to let someone down and you're going to say no, you know. And I know we can want to help everyone. I just want to help every single person I come across, right? I just feel like everyone, but I can't because then I'm not prioritizing my family or my own health or whatever. So you've got to really be discerning with where you place your energy and your time, and really focus on, you know, what is really essential and what is not. And you can be a good person with a kind heart and still say no to people. But it can be really hard because we want to be liked, we want to be respected, and there we go. It's going to be some screaming in my house. And so if we say no more, then we are honoring ourselves more. The more we say no to other people, the more we are actually saying yes to ourselves, and the universe, as I said, will show up for us. So when people ask you to come to an event, to champion their cause, to bake 70 cupcakes for the fair, to do this, to do that, to do this, to do that, just ask yourself some questions like, is this a yes from me? And just feel into that for you. Is this a yes from me? Is this on path for me? And just ask the questions, and you'll get the guidance. And even if someone asks you, I used to just say yes straight away. It's just like, oh, can I just check? I just need to check with what else I've got going on, and just buy yourself a bit of time to stop and reflect before you just say yes to everything. And really assess, am I saying yes out of just fear of not being liked and fear of people thinking badly of me? Or am I saying yes because, yes, this is from love. This is something I really want to do and I want to be involved in, or whatever it is. But it's amazing, like if you start to say no a couple of things through the week to this and that, and you just buy back more time to really focus on the priorities in your life. Okay, number 7, we're almost there, my friends. You've been beautiful sticking with me. Okay, number 7, so to surrender to a higher power. And I almost didn't put this in here because I know that, you know, for some people they don't believe in a higher power, whether it's God or Mother Earth or Source or whatever you want to call it, different other gods, you know, Buddha, Allah, Jehovah, all of those things. However, for me, hands down, what gets me really through hard times is, for me, my 100% faith and belief that we are divinely protected and guided. Our soul is eternal. We never die. And knowing that I don't have all the answers in this human body, and I'm trying my best to kind of work my way through, but knowing that it is in hand from our Creator. That I read somewhere recently, it's like, who are you to think that you can kind of control things? Like, are you the one that makes the sun set each night and the sun rise? Like, is that you? Do you do that? It's like really surrendering to something beyond what we can even comprehend. The magnificence, that is actually running the show. And it actually kind of gives me a lot of relief just to kind of surrender things over, where the more you try and control every aspect of your life, and the more you're trying to kind of be a step ahead of everything and trying to protect everyone and in your family and jobs and relationships and all that kind of stuff, and not just surrendering and just going with the flow, the more depleting it is, the more exhausting it is. So a sense of relief can really wash over us when we kind of hand it over. Say, do you know what? Okay, I want X to happen in this situation, right? But maybe that's not to be. Maybe that's not what's best for my own journey on this planet. So I hand it over. I surrender it to that who knows best and knows better than me, to allow whatever happens to happen and know that I will be safe no matter what, and each of us will be. Because as I said, we are eternal. And these are some of the messages that have given me the most comfort, is that we are deeply loved, we are indestructible, we are pure energy. Our life has purpose and meaning. We are all the same, and at our core, we are pure, pure love. So, they are the key things that I wanted to share with you all tonight. I've still gone over, of course. If you want to learn more, I will put my links in here. I've got a half-day workshop coming up, Pure Energy, around the laws of energy and really how to master your energy and boosting, clearing, nourishing, protecting your energy, going into a deeper version of lots of the things that I also spoke about today. It's on the 5th of September, Saturday morning, 8:30 to 12 p.m. So I'll put the link of that if anyone wants to come. It's only $49. All money goes towards the Global Soul Center, which is my big vision. So, my friends, I'm so grateful that you jumped on and that you shared this time with me. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful evening, or if you're watching the replay, let me know, put into the comments where you're coming from, or if you've got any questions or anything like that as well. So take good care of yourselves, of your families, and honor yourself on the daily basis to tap into your power, your personal power. Remember it. We remember it because it is already there. It is gifted to us. It is not something that can be taken away from us. It's not something we learn. It's not something that we have to go through certain things to get. It's already there. There's just little tools to be able to remember it, to access that part of us that is always there. Take good care. Lovelish. Good night.